Live. Okay, hello, and we're back. So, we left the group sitting down to dinner and drinks in the middle of the court of the Raven Queen. There's definitely not going to be some lords or ladies here looking for information. Definitely.
Nope.
After a little bit of you guys eating, though, a young lady walks up with a weird shell, almost shining green on the back of her. A carapace of sorts, and she looks over you all and goes, "So, you guys are mortals, right?"
Victor just kind of nods.
Yep.
That we are.
I've wanted to see mortals so much. My father said that I couldn't. But here you guys are.
That we are.
Where are you guys from?
We're
all
all
over
from-
the physical plane.
We're difficult. We're from different locations.
Ooh. Are you guys one of those, what did they used to call them in the fairy tales? Adventurer parties, yes!
Suppose you can call us that.
You definitely could.
Are you guys heroes?
That's usually for the story writers to decide, isn't it?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Story writers, historians.
And none of us are a bard, so I guess we don't know yet. He just kind of smiles.
Could I have your names?
Let's see.
Not quite
Mine-
sure on how to respond to that one as of yet, but
Yeah.
You call me Stella.
Call me Hermes.
I hail from the. I am a lord of the Moth Court.
Draven, I need you to roll a deception check.
That's not directly responding to her thing, so I assume that one's fine.
Yeah.
It's a reason why everyone has titles.
Yeah, and you guys circumvented the entire thing with "you can call me." You guys dodged a trick already.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Action. 15.
She just looks at you, at Victor, and goes, "That's not your name. It's not very nice lying." But I guess I'll call you Xavier, since you asked.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you my name if you give us something we can call you.
I look over at Victor. I'd rephrase that one.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you my true name.
You'll give me your true name?
You can call me by this, but I am not giving it to you.
Oh.
There's certain things here I do not understand. Call me Victor. And with that, he just face palms, realizing he's an idiot.
Very interesting. You guys are quite smart. Hey, Stella, can I have your attention?
What's up?
You guys are too smart. This isn't fun. I thought mortals were dumb.
Some of us are.
And Victor
But,
just kind of nods and takes a drink.
We came prepared for tricks. Doesn't mean we wouldn't fall to one. We came
Victor
prepared.
just nods again and pulls his book out he's writing in.
What you writing?
I'm a librarian. I'm writing down history.
I thought you said that the bards are the ones that write the stories. If you're a historian, you write the stories.
Perhaps this is the reason why you're not supposed to interact with mortals.
I write down the histories. The bards tell the living stories. What we do now, they will make lively in the future. Me, I'm just the pure cold facts of what was.
Journaling, keeping track of things.
You ever read a history text?
None that was prosed as a historian would.
I'm just a librarian.
If I may, what should we call you?
You may call me... Cynthia.
Titles.
I think I'll use Cynthia.
The titles, names, all are fine.
I think I'll use Cynthia.
Pleased to meet you, Cynthia. I'm going to do an insight check or whatever else is on that one. And of course, there's my Bane. Hold on a second. I need to re-roll one of them, but I want to see him. Insight? What is it called?
Perception?
No.
I guess it'd be sense motive. There it is.
Yeah, sense motive.
I have a +3, and I'm gonna roll really freaking low because of that Bane. That's 5 plus 8. 8 total.
It seems like Cynthia is definitely her name.
So, Victor writes her name down in the book and what led to them meeting.
You see her kind of vanish behind the table and then pop up behind you on the chair. The sound of like skittering up the chair back as she's like, "Ooh, mortal writing."
What's something you like to do for fun?
Play tricks on people.
So you're a trickster.
Sometimes. Sometimes I like playing with the human children. Papa hasn't let me play with humans in a while, though.
Yeah.
There has been a bit of a ban of, making deals for human children for a little while. I haven't had any more play friends in a while.
Yep. Well, you're now part of history. Wherever this book ends up in 200 years, this interaction is in it.
Interesting.
He closes the book and puts it away.
So that's all it takes to be part of history? Is to be there at the right moment, at the right time for somebody to write it down?
Sometimes.
Or less.
Why don't we have historians? This would be so amazing.
That could be you.
No, that seems like something I'd have to sit here and pay attention to.
All it takes is a moment. You saw how quick that was to write down.
I'm a princess.
You could say he took a moment of your time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm teasing, of course.
Roll a charisma check there.
Hey, they understand
Me?
jokes, right?
Yeah, this is a performance check.
Oh, I got lucky 7s on that one. Hold on. Aznaugh's gonna say that while he's taking a sip of something. There is no performance.
At least not linked to that one, so it's just going to be your charisma.
Which I at least have a decent amount of, so let me see. Cha is a +4, which doesn't technically calculate. Total of 18.
You see her look at you for a moment, seeming to try to catch what you're saying. And then it finally dawns on her, and she's like, "Ha ha ha! You're a funny one. No wonder why the prince likes you."
Shoot. You could even have one of your servants write down history.
True.
True, I could.
You could have an archive of your part of the Fey court. It could be named after you and live on forever that way.
Oh. That could be fascinating.
You could even write down bard stories too.
So what you're proposing is that I start a library here in the Feywild. When I'm part of the court of the beetle. The court of the common people.
Write down your histories. And anything that you really find interesting.
I missed a part of that. Court of the beetle, part of the what peoples?
The common people.
No.
The court of the beetle is in charge of pretty much all the civilians, and they govern all those that aren't in like the higher courts. So they help take care of things and do a bit of the political stuff and making sure that resources are allocated to the right areas and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Would that mean that technically, if I make a library out of this, I could share that knowledge with the rest of the people?
Yes.
Hmm. I don't think any of the children father had taken in a while had been able to read. I'll need to find somebody who can read multiple languages now.
You could set something up to teach people how to read multiple languages even.
Who knows? Maybe you'll have a friend here who might be able to read multiple languages. He looks at Victor.
She looks down at Victor as well, seeming to try to put together what you're inferring.
Victor just scowls at him.
You guys talk a lot with subtlety, don't you?
Just him, and it depends on which one of his multiple personalities is out at the time.
You see her
This
reach
was the
over.
playful one.
You see her reach over to your chair and then scurry over to it and sit here and look at you now. Well, the personalities? You have multiple personalities? How many of you are in there? She kind of looks in your ear as if trying to see them all.
Victor takes
Only a
a
couple.
drink and starts to laugh.
Only a couple. Why can't I see them? Why is it so dark in there?
There's not much going on in there.
She kind kind of just stands up sort of on the back of the chair, just looking around. Interesting. So, a library, you say, and teaching people languages. If we start getting kids again, does that mean I can teach the kids? Ooh, we can learn to read together.
Oh,
You could even teach Fey children to read if they don't
speaking
know.
of, I wonder how many of the people that are taken were kids.
There are people taken?
It's another.
There may be
thing.
kids in trouble?
No.
Are there kids in trouble?
Different situation. No, not your kids.
Yeah, it's a different situation. It involves us.
Did somebody take kids when they weren't supposed to?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Father's not going to be
Probably.
happy to hear that.
The
Yeah,
Raven Queen's
depends.
probably gonna.
Depends on what she decides to do. Best not to make declarations on her behalf, though. We've shared the information we
Yeah.
need to.
True.
So,
Victor's gonna kind of look around the room.
You see a very large, he looks fairly muscular guy looking around the room, looking underneath some tables. He's got a green shell on him as well and some horns that are coming off of his head, and he seems to be calling out for someone in the Fey tongue. And you see Cynthia seem to slowly slip down the back of the chair. The rest of the court seems to be lords and ladies who came to sit here and try to influence politics or talk about desires of their kings and queens and whatnot. And they're dining and partaking in things and trying to make deals and share information as much as possible to get information. You know, normal court dealings.
Yep, exactly. Something I'm familiar with. That does bring the question. Anyone from the Moth here? Might have someone on the opposite side of the table to give me death glares I haven't noticed yet.
You guys can roll a perception check.
That's another question. Is Zenny here? Let's see. That one's not a disadvantage, at least. Perception is 5. 16 total.
Alright, just a second.
Now, I'm gonna ask, do you guys want to give disadvantage to anyone that might be hiding?
No.
Oh, 16.
That's actually a good idea.
Damn.
15.
You said
16.
perception?
Yeah.
What has technically been the fates? Is that just a...
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a reroll. Got
Yeah,
it.
that forces a reroll.
17...
That could be bad or
21.
good.
21. I will say, Victor, while you guys are looking around the room, I'm going to sit here and give you those points back because Victor just barely beat the person
Yeah.
by 1. Okay, so you're looking around and you do see a guy in moth clothing seeming to talk to a small little jar with a glowing moth in it. and then he opens it up, and a moth goes flittering off.
Are we close enough to have been heard at any point?
I mean, everyone did get really quiet when you were addressing the queen.
Yeah, there's nothing I could have done there.
No. So what was shared with the queen, pretty much everyone there knows.
Right.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, yeah, no, I just stormed into this place and everyone knows who I am now.
Not just that, they know that apparently the Moth Court is pulling some shit. So there's a little bit more conversation about that, and ooh, it's political intrigue and conspiracy as well as drama, and they're just like, ooh, yes.
And the person that we're against is sitting basically at the table right now.
Well, at a table across the hall, but yeah, one of those things that's like, oh, ha 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 ha, yes,
We better watch our backs when we leave.
yes,
So-
King Julian's doing bad things, I see, ha 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 ha. Aren't you part of that
Victor-
court? Shut up.
Victor kind of leans over and nudges Stella, pointing out this moth person and what they've done. And then does the same to Calder.
You
I
see
don't have
the
anything, a subtle spell.
You see the moth kind of look at you a second, and the moth cloak wearing person look at you a second and go, "Oh no."
I'm not gonna make any moves on this at all.
He's gonna sit there watching.
Yeah, I'm not gonna really pay much attention to him. I'm just gonna make sure he doesn't come slip over or slip a knife into us.
Yep.
So the dinner goes on, and some of the lords and ladies seem to leave.
Oh no, yeah, I could just think of that for a minute. Not only does the queen know, sitting right in front of him, but also has proof, and is saying, we're gonna go test this proof and interrogate this creature. We'll go ahead and verify this and be back, and he's probably just sweating right now. Oh, that's fantastic.
Victor writes down the description of this moth person and who they were talking to in the book.
Yeah, they were just talking to a little glowing moth in a jar.
Well, who, like the people directly near them.
Oh yeah, it was a bunch of lords and ladies, and a couple of them that seemed to kind of be jabbing at him with comments about, well, looks like you guys are going to be having some fun. This is very much a political mess that they're sitting here and enjoying, but the individual is kind of sitting here going, oh god, oh god, oh god.
Mm-hmm.
Bad moon on the rise.
Okay. But at the end, as people are starting to file out, the moth does end up leaving. And about the same time, you see the young prince come in with what looks to be a strange kind of elf. He too seems to have raven feathers on his back, but after a moment you realize that this is actually just a winged fae. He actually has crow wings attached to him,
Nice.
and he's wearing heavy armor. Well, not heavy armor, more like medium armor with a bunch of pockets in that. It's kind of like a hardened leather vest. And it looks at you all and is like, so, the prince told me you guys are going to need help with an investigation.
I could tell you of the situation if that helps shine any light on it.
From the sounds of it, the prince said that you might be having to go into an area to take care of things.
Yes. Might be under watch if you want to talk to us privately as well. And go
Yeah.
over things.
Victor kind of sidles over to the prince and tells him what he saw, what he noticed.
Prince nods and looks at you and is like, okay, I will get somebody to look into who that is. Seems things may have to move quicker. I'll also let Mother know as well.
You said the moon crystal materials. I don't wish to ask the question twice about that, but I unfortunately don't remember. We had a lot going on. What was the information for the moon crystal? Were we getting that directly from you? Because I don't want to ask the Raven Queen the question if it's already being handled.
Moon crystal. This is the first you've mentioned of it to me, so...
We need the materials for raising a champion of the court.
Okay, I might know a place, that we could use one. Because you do need a ritual chamber, but it's going to also take a bit of time to...
Yes.
culminate the power.
Understood.
So, it would leave...
Probably best to not state it here, considering we have mixed ears.
Yes, and even then, it's something that you would want to have spare time for.
I would assume I might have asked about that process already and how long it takes. Was I given that information by
he would have told you that
Florence?
there is no real information on how long, because it depends on the individual.
Copy that.
Yep. For somebody who's got Fey blood, it might be quicker. For somebody who is pure mortal, it might take longer. There's no real telling what's going to influence the length of the transformation time.
That's something to do after the incursion's been taken care of.
Yeah, or during, if you guys don't mind losing time.
Yeah, it depends.
I mean, it may be a worthy trade, depending on how quickly you would gain power.
Yeah.
Because they may know you at one level, and if you can come in higher than that...
Well, it's also important that it's officially taken as me moving in as a lord of the court, as well as that I get my champion set up, because that's an important piece as well. So I feel it's more important for us to get it handled quicker than later. So, at least it's my opinion of it. We should talk privately in character about it. That was out of character, so you're aware.
So.
Gotcha.
Prince kind of looks at you and goes, we should probably go to your guys' room.
That would be a good idea, as long as you're it's safe there from potential stabbings.
It should be safe from potential stabbings and from divination. Most of the rooms here have anti-divination unless you're part of my mother's court. Then there's keys and this and that, and you know how it goes.
Yeah.
We got to make sure that everyone's safe and not doing things that are bad, but we also have to make sure that there is some privacy.
He gives them a kind of a polite gesture to walk and talk.
So the prince leads you guys to a different part. You see a lot of the lords and ladies of the Fae going one direction, and he seems to be leading you guys a different direction, and as you guys keep on going, you see more Raven guards in this direction. It seems like you're being housed with more of the police and military units of the city.
Mm-hmm.
And as he leads you through there, he's going to walk with you guys up a spiral staircase and to a large set of doors that he opens up. Inside is a lovely kind of sitting room. You can hear the sounds of the trees and insects and animals outside. You see fireflies moving in the nightlight. And you have a lovely kind of living room area, a nice little dining spot off to the side, what looks like a couple of beds in a couple of rooms, and it looks like there is also a bathroom of sorts. As you guys get close to the balcony, you see out over the Feywild, the woods, the large flowers, the large plants in general, seeming almost fantastical, and yet the city that seems to be beneath this floating city seems to be illuminated with a moonlight glow that has some darker bits, revealing that there seems to be stones pointing down off the bottom of it, lighting the area beneath where farms and animals seem to live.
Beautiful.
You see flying guards, not only with raven feathers, but also with dove and pigeon feathers moving around. Some of them in what looks to be simple, what you would assume back in the days would be guard attire, and others in what looks like war attire or similar. The raven feathers seem to be wearing the higher equipment, the more specialized jobs, while the pigeon and doves seem more like a police or guard station. And the prince looks over to you all and says, I hope the accommodations will be to your liking. Should be fairly left alone here. Nobody really knows you're here.
Well, I mean, aside from every single other person at that table.
Yes, but they don't know that this is your room.
Yes.
I'll let Mother know where you guys are, and we'll try to get some investigation on that Mothman.
Yes, that's probably the best way of doing that. Julian is definitely the one to investigate for this. I can tell you anything you would like to know about the situation as well. I'm happy to report anything.
Yeah, same.
Okay. We would appreciate that. That would help us out a lot, especially since we might need you guys to go in and take care of some issues then. We would be sending in units, but we'd probably need you guys to help deal with tracking down the originals to help make sure that the replacements aren't able to stay hidden.
Yes, if we can actually get the originals and they weren't killed or otherwise, that'd be nice, because that was the whole reason we were originally sent, was to figure out what's going on with them and hopefully save them, or, well, take care of the drones that are taking their place.
Yeah. And it'll be hard to tell which one's a drone and which one's not, unless, well, you do that or you find a way to reveal their true nature. I will leave you in the hands of Xavier here, and if you need anything, you can ask him, and he might be able to help you. He's my apprentice and one of my more favorite personal investigators for matters. I might have used him a few times to deal with problems that I had with brothers that decided that they were above the law and, well, you know.
Yeah, you seem to be, taking the law to the letter, so to speak, so I applaud that and appreciate that.
I do prefer to keep things to the letter instead of to the nature like my brothers. Except for the one. He's more in charge of the military, and that's rightfully so. He is way more literal about the law than I am.
Just one thing before you go on my side. The material, the reason I'm interested in gathering it quickly is I believe that securing my station to the correct way, speaking of the law, is for the best.
Yes.
Because I am a lord of the Moth Court, but that doesn't mean I've been fully instated yet.
Because he would have to do such from his throne room traditionally, but there are proxies and paperwork that we can push through.
That's the other thing is technically the throne, so to speak, or the place for me is already there. It just hasn't been filled.
Yep.
So therefore, I am just being brought to fill the role.
That, and technically there is legalities that we tend to do to ensure there may or may... It's to ensure that people don't try to impersonate each other as much.
Understood. That's why I'm interested in doing it quickly, because while I've been sent and been given a signet ring, I don't wish to do things incorrectly and also gain the ire and problems of, working negatively towards the King of the Moths. Or, he points at a signet ring.
Yes, and I understand that. As far as I know, you don't require Moonstone for your right. Technically, him swearing you in his court would work, or technically the Raven Queen bestowing the title upon you will work as well. This could be ceremonial, or it could be technically paperwork-wise. I will talk with Mother and see how she feels about that and what she wants to do.
Yeah, and then I need to make a champion, from what I understand.
You could make a champion, yes. It's something that can take time, and in doing so, it will give you technically somebody that's a little bit more powerful to help. Especially since you guys are all mortal in power, so it's...
And in this case, from what I understand, the champion must be a Belmont.
That's probably something contractual for you guys, yes.
Options are very limited there.
Yes. Why, is there somebody you would like me to send word to for you?
No, I'm just seeking the materials to get it done quickly.
Okay. Because I don't know if we can make it quickly. I can provide materials, but...
I don't want to be a difficult problem, or otherwise I'm just stating what my needs are. Unfortunately, I'm just following along with what I was told to do, which was get my title set up, and pick a champion.
Yes.
And I was told to make the champion specifically because I will most likely need it. So I have no reason to defer against that.
Okay. Well, I will try to requisition the materials. I guess Xavier here is going to have to take care of you guys. And
Please.
I'll be back.
Thank you.
You see him slowly leave as the guard kind of looks around and is standing there still somewhat rigid.
Well, you generally know the situation that's going on, Xavier.
Yes, and to be honest, I don't know why he chose me for this. There are more veteran people in the department that could do it.
Well, he gave high regards.
Yeah.
Said you were an apprentice, if I remember that right.
Yes, card magic.
He pulls a deck out from under his sleeve and does one of those like bridge shuffles together. Same.
He pulls out a couple of cards from one deck, and then a couple from another, and he's like, well, my card magic works a little bit different than that. Have you ever used a sword or a shield made out of cards?
No. I've thought about it before, but I've never conceptualized it fully.
It is a bit more complex to do than most people realize, but perhaps sometime I can teach you.
I'd be very thankful for that. Maybe I might be able to trade some tricks.
Trading tricks could be fun.
Well, he pulls out his lunch option and pulls out a basically his entire ration kit, which for Azeroth has his cigars in it, and he'll offer cigars to everyone.
The knight kind of just looks at it and I was like, what is this?
These are to be smoked, and they create a sense of stimulation of sorts. It's a substance, and if you do not want to partake, then that's on you, and I won't be offended.
Technically,
Smoking's
I can't.
not for everyone.
Technically, I can't. I am on duty.
Understood. Most people do this on duty, as it doesn't hinder function, but absolutely. Maybe later.
Yes.
Does he offers one to Victor or Stella?
Yeah, Victor will take one.
So I'll take it. We'll take one. You've been holding out on me.
You don't know what's in these cards. He shuffles his inventory deck.
Frankly, I'm never surprised anymore.
I've forgotten what's in half of these. He says honestly.
Well, I mean,
I kept a notebook somewhere.
I'm not surprised so much as concerned.
Yeah,
I know one of them.
That's valid that you should be concerned. I mean, after all, yeah. So,
anyways,
got a light?
Yes.
Light.
He'll pull out his lighter. Now, quickly catching you up on the situation, I'll say out of character to do it really fast. I'm going to tell him the general part of the situation and just in general give him an overview, to have him understand and investigate things with me. And I can do that in character if you want. I can just tell you that.
That's up to you. If you do it in character, you might have further conversations in more detail.
Yeah. But I just want to generally state I don't see any reason to lie to this person, so I'll tell him basically everything that's currently going on.
Right.
So, we were sent here to investigate issues that are currently going on. Those issues were flagged to us by another source. Essentially, we learned that something was happening in the town and that people were going missing. Sounded like doppelgangers. Came a little bit prepared for doppelgangers. And that's exactly what we located. we learned a little bit more about what was coming through, and that it seemed to be an incursion upon the local area. And so far we've encountered them, but the problem being that they are a hive mind, running into situations where they are sending information back before we could end up keeping that information to ourselves. If one of them learns your identity, all of them know your identity, more or less.
That can be troublesome.
Yes. So, we've been in communication with our source. Apparently, some information was leaked back to them, and they are going to be fighting a third party, which is a Earth cult that's in the local area. They seem to be on an incursion for a nexus point, and that nexus point is, do I actually know the information of what that nexus point is on, or just a ley line?
I believe you guys were told that was a ley line to the plane of nature, which
Yes.
is earth and
Okay,
water.
you know, I do remember that. So I mentioned it's the plane of nature specifically.
Yep.
That the currently in place Moth King, Julian, has usurped Florence from the throne by force, by making him what's the word I'm looking for? By making him be unable to be intelligent in his own realm by the adoption of the moon.
Well,
So due to this, go ahead.
Well, that's quite concerning.
It's considerably so. Seeing as that's the situation, they've come over from a moonstone above a lake, and they formed a connection for a portal. Seeing as people have been taken, I learned something. There is apparently outlawing on the removal of children, or deals being struck for children. This is everyone entirely, so there might be some information to garner there that very likely children have been stolen too.
Yes, we outlawed that due to the influx of changelings and the orphans caused by lords and ladies either kicking them out or being removed from office through multiple means.
Yes, so
One said mean is a recent changeling may or may not have been using disguises to kill a bunch of lords and ladies. Mostly the ones that still had a large number of changelings and had seceded from the court.
understood.
Yes.
Maybe. Let's see. Anything else? It's imposing upon the area of the dart vipers that are at that nexus point. At least that's where they keep trying to go. They are invading a mortal town specifically.
Verdant City.
They're already there, all over the place.
Yeah. They have taken my sister, actually my twin sister, and several others.
If it helps any, considering I'm still working on my own title ship at the moment. It's the friend's sister of a lord. Which I would consider an act upon my court anyways. Considering it is already an aggressive act upon my court.
This entire thing is going to be complicated.
And I would consider it also under an area of imprisonment by exile, basically,
True.
which isn't being sanctioned. Florence. He can't return to his own realm.
I said true.
Oh, I heard who. Sorry. So this entire situation's interesting, and the main thing is a loophole is the fact that I already, as a Belmont, have a seat in the Moth Court. I just didn't know it, and it wasn't chosen until recently.
Okay, so means that we're going to have to investigate who all's been taken. We're going to have to find out where all of these doppelgangers are. No doubt they have a war map somewhere.
Let's say, do we have a map that we can?
I can draw something up.
I'm pretty sure Stella has a map that used to show where all of the doppelgangers were on it.
Yep, but that's not a current map. That's a at that moment map.
Right.
I don't think we have any other pieces of information. I don't remember anything I might have gotten to my inventory that might be important for that.
I just know where things could be going.
Well, we should sit here and head out then. Probably head over to the Court of the Moon.
That works.
Yeah.
Is the Court of the Moon a court higher than the Court of the Moth?
Yeah, in a way, yes. They're very close. The Moth King is one of the several in the Court of the Moon. So we'll have to go from there to whatever area they're in.
Understood. Curious on that is I've met someone named Lord Silverlight before. Are they also part of the Moon Court?
I do not know. I'm not privy to everyone's names and titles in each court, and
Okay, I just wanted to ask.
depending on if contracts were kept up with this hostile takeover, it would determine if that individual is still technically part of the court or not. They might be banished if they had faithfulness to the other side.
That makes sense as well. That'd mean if I complete what I'm doing, his station should be reinstated. Should be a positive for him.
If he's part of that court, yes.
I might accidentally get a favor done.
You accruing favors? Never.
Temple's fingers.
Yeah. Victor's sitting there kind of looking outside. Like he's never been in a space like this.
I say tomorrow we head out towards that spot. You guys should probably rest here for the night. The Feywild is not hospitable at times during the evening.
Understood.
Agree.
In the morning, we can have breakfast and then head out, and I'll try to see what I can requisition for paperwork and everything. That's going to be interesting. Having to do this with 4 mortals is going to be a little bit more complicated.
Sorry.
It's okay. Honestly, you guys have helped with the investigation, and a couple of us have been thinking that there was something going on there, and some of our department may or may not have gone missing because of this. So if anything, this is going to help clear the air.
I have a way of also contacting Florence if I need to as well. So
That's good.
didn't know if you'd be interested in that.
I'll leave that at your at your own care.
I don't think I have quite anything to totally report to him yet.
Yep.
You said we were going to be heading down to the war front tomorrow?
Sort of. We'll be heading over to the kingdom and investigating what we can, and my hopes is to get everyone out that they might have and figure out how to get your lord back.
Understood. Thank you. All right, that's
So,
all I had. What was that, Victor? Sorry.
random question. What is the time slip like from the Fey realm to the physical plane?
What do you mean?
Like, it's night in the Fey realm.
Yeah.
What time of day would it be on the physical plane?
It would still be about nighttime, yeah.
Okay.
It's got a similar time thing going on because of how it's set up. Other parts of the Feywild might be different, but for the most part they try to. It essentially follows a similar cycle to the planet. So the material world's day and night cycle is going to match up for the in-between. Because wherever that dusk and dawn is technically where that in-between is between the two worlds. So that allows technically for transportation of people back and forth. So
Alright.
So if they were going like opposite or in different directions or different speeds, it throws off the synergy there.
Alright, makes sense.
Yep.
So, if it came down to it, and we had to break a portal, we have any time within a half hour after dusk to a half an hour or so before dawn, or vice versa.
Yep. Or even at midnight. Because it's technically midnight and noon are the mid of the beginning / end and mid of day.
Okay.
So it's the in-betweens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Victor's gonna kind of note down that information just so he has it.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to relax the nerves. Probably enjoy whatever amenities that they have here.
Yes.
Any Fey wine or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I don't
this-
see anything else besides a little bit of downtime.
Yeah, and this is a good time to take to technically call the session, because the next few things might lead into combat. So it's best
Had a feeling.
so it's best not to start that so late in the session, because basically you guys get to play Mission Impossible next.
Do we get the cool theme music?
Let me see here. I might have some cool theme music for you. Let me see here.
Nice.
Yes, that one's called Sneaky Feet.
Nice.
It's by the same guy that No, different guy than that one. Okay. But no. I found a bunch of these ages ago, and I wanted to be able to use them for this campaign, and getting to use some of them now is nice.
That's awesome.
Especially since this is the first time you guys actually are going to be doing a stealth. Except for maybe like episode 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to find a raid victim. And next time we can sit here and go into the combat or possible combat.
I'm like 90% sure there's gonna be combat.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
especially with the Banes and everything that's always being thrown around.
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole session has just gotten a little more intense, a little more intense, a little more intense, or like the energy is just.
The energy's just... What the... What just happened there? Why did I lose voice from you guys?
Himself. I thought,
There we are.
but like, I was wondering if we were all gonna have like introduce ourselves and stuff. I was gonna let you go first.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it was just dependent on how it was asked for, and that's what exactly Cynthia ran into. I saw that, I'm like, I ain't responding to that. I know better.
Yeah.
No one's posed a very specific question.
What was the DC on that I failed where she knew that wasn't my real name?
She rolled against you.
Crap.
She rolled an insight and had a natural 18 before bonuses.
Oh.
So she was just like, you lying.
I think he won her over though.
I mean, she could have, decided to ask our names again in a different way.
Yeah.
I know she's of the court of the beetle.
Yep.
I accidentally left a little bit more information on the table than I intended to of people stealing kids. I realized my mistake.
Well, there's a prohibition against it.
Yep.
We found that out that way.
I'm just trying to get Julian in as much legal trouble as possible.
Like, Victor's interested in listening to all the stuff regarding your lordship, just out of curiosity of like, is he gonna end up in this similar situation?
That actually does beg the question: what court is the lordship that Victor might get for?
It would still be part of the Moth Court.
Okay. So we have technically 2 Lords of the Moth Court, just one who's not instated yet.
He's not said it officially.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a deal that was shaken on either, so.
I think
Yours
mine was.
shaken on. Yeah.
About as official as you get, right? That was a strike of a deal.
Yep.
I do have an out of character thing. We're going into the in between space, right? Where we're like gonna have a couple of hours of downtime.
Yes.
I was thinking of what Aznath might do with Katarina. This might be a good time to let Katarina out of her card, or at least summon her and let her hang out.
Oh yes, in the Feywild, in the Fey Court.
Yeah,
with the Raven Queen.
Well, I mean,
that could never backfire.
She's already here.
You see, audience. This is the problem that we're going to have.
No, that's the thing.
Axel is
She's
going to
already here.
Axel's going to cause as much chaos in every place that he goes. Azeroth is just going to be causing all the trouble.
Hey, you know what reminded me of it? Do you want to be my apprentice? Like, I need to make sure that we don't commingle any type of agreements. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I got Katarina in my pocket. I'm like, yeah, I just, brought a patron into the Fey Court.
I'm curious as to how the Maw would react to being out in the Feywild.
I forgot about that one. I also have an attack dog in my shadow, possibly.
Yeah, and it's not like the Fae wouldn't notice that.
His form is...
I mean, technically I have weapons all over me, but...
Okay. I do know who we are going to be raiding. They are currently playing a cyberpunk campaign. And they just returned from break. That's why I was having to wait. Because they were just on bio break. Well, you guys have a good night. Be good to yourselves and be good to each other.
See y'all in 2 weeks.
And if you get in any trouble, give us a call. Bye.
Bye.